Welcome back everyone. So I've been meaning to make this video for actually a couple of years now and I never got around to it, but since a lot of things are being delayed, I finally got around to talking about it. Now AppleCare, or more specifically AppleCare Plus, I'm sure you guys already know, is Apple's own warranty program that they've made. They've been doing it for a very long time and I'm sure they make a ton of money off this thing because it's crazy. But pretty much what it is that if you buy a device straight from Apple brand new, whether it's a MacBook or an iPhone or an iPad, you can go ahead and buy AppleCare on it, which is sort of like a warranty. So if anything goes wrong, not everything, but if certain things go wrong, if it's still under that AppleCare warranty, you have the ability of getting it fixed for a pretty cheap price. Now, there's a lot of ways to look at this thing, and I'll be probably as open as possible because I've been on both sides. I've had phones that had AppleCare. I've had phones that didn't have it. Now, in my specific case, because I upgrade my phone every year, or even sooner than every year, I really have no reason to have this thing because, it already comes, most products already come with some sort of warranty. So if it, breaks within the first month or two, whatever it is, I don't even know what it is, but if something goes wrong within the first month or something, you'll probably be set for the most part, and you still have, I think, a year warranty of some sort, not like an AppleCare Plus warranty. If I break the phone, I don't get a new one. But most of the time, if I have an issue, I can take my phone to the Apple store, and if it's a reasonable fix, they might actually fix it, which is a really cool thing. Apple support is really, really great. So it really depends. I would tell you, if you're planning on getting AppleCare, I would ask you, how long do you plan on keeping your phone? This one specifically, if you're planning on keeping it for years and years on end, it might just be worth it to have AppleCare Plus. But also you have to think about it, if you have a MacBook or an iPad or whatever other AppleCare product you're wanting to do, how careful are you with your products? Now, you never really know when you're going to drop your phone because you don't put a case on your phone, you don't put a screen protector on your phone because you know when you're going to drop it. You're preparing it so when you do drop it, when you don't realize it, it'll probably, break some of that fall. So with this specific phone and this specific devices, I'm pretty careful with my devices. I always have like screen protectors and I always have cases on my phone, so I try to avoid anything going wrong. And because of my past experience, I know that I don't really break phones that often, at least the ones that I'm using, so there's really no reason for me personally to have AppleCare Plus. I'm really careful with my MacBooks. I'm really careful with all my other products. So for me personally, I don't see the need of getting AppleCare or AppleCare Plus or whatever. However, there is a second thing, kind of a newish, it's not really new, but it's the AppleCare Plus with theft and loss. And I know the iPhones have this capability, and I'm sure, let me go ahead and check, I'm sure the iPads have it. Apparently the MacBooks don't have it, but you can do it for your Apple Watch and all these other things, your iPods. And the thing with this is that basically if you get your iPhone stolen, and I'll basically just read what they said. AppleCare Plus with theft and loss includes up to 2 incidents of accidental damage, theft, or loss coverage every 24 months. Each incident is subject to the deductibles listed below, and they kind of tell you below. So even with this one, I would say that would be probably the more valuable one. But even then, that's kind of pushing it because the prices to replace these things are pretty expensive. I mean, if you have the AppleCare Plus with theft and loss, an iPhone SE, the base model, not the second one, is $149 to replace. An iPhone 6s to the iPhone 8 is $199 to replace. And I don't know why, but the iPhone 11, 10R, 8 Plus, 7 Plus, and 6s Plus are all $229. And then the iPhone 10, 10s Max, 10s, 11 Pro Max, and 11 Pro are $269 to replace. I think that has something to do with the prices it costs to make those specific devices. But it's also kind of weird. If you have an older phone, I probably would not recommend getting AppleCare Plus on it because the price to replace any of these parts would be pretty cheap if you do it yourself. You can buy a brand new iPhone 6s. You can probably buy 2 of them for $199. But if you're getting those more expensive devices like an iPhone 11 Pro, the 11 Pro Max, then that would make a little bit more sense to have some AppleCare warranty on it. Mostly because those phones are more expensive and they're not cheap to replace. They're not cheap. You're going to have to spend another over $1,000 to replace that phone. Where if you have AppleCare Plus with theft and loss, you actually probably save some money, a ton of money if it gets stolen or if it totally breaks or whatever. Now, one very, very, very important thing to keep in mind with AppleCare Plus is that they don't cover water damage. So just keep that in mind. If a battery breaks or if whatever and you have like water damage inside the device, chances are they might actually not replace those parts, or they might not help you. They'll probably help you, but you'll probably have to pay that whole deductible of theft and loss, so that $269 to get it fully replaced, which might be worth it to you. So kind of keep that in mind. If you're planning on buying, a used iPhone from eBay and it has screen damage, but you can just get it replaced from AppleCare, if it has that capability, keep in mind that you'll have to see if there's water damage on it, because one time I got stung by that. a couple years ago when the iPhone 10 came out. I bought it a couple months later. It had some screen damage thing. I took it to the Apple store. They said it had water damage, so they couldn't fix it. Maybe it's changed since then, but that was also kind of weird, and I hated that. It was the weirdest thing ever. So the whole AppleCare thing is very, very, flexible in my opinion, because whether you keep it or not, whether you get it or you don't, because it can only really help you if you buy it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's not like it's a case where, some people might like it, some people might not, or it's a specific phone. This thing, this thing, it's only there to help you. However, like I stated, there is money you have to pay for it. It's not free. And there are different prices for each device, so keep that in mind as well. And I'll go ahead and paste the prices on the screen if I can find them. It's being really weird for me right now, and it makes me type in the serial number. So that's kind of how I would sum this video up. I would recommend everyone that has an iPhone to get AppleCare or AppleCare Plus with theft and loss protection, because it makes sense. It just makes sense for you to have it. But like I stated before, it really just depends how long you're planning on keeping your phones, if you want to keep them forever, for multiple years, and those are just things you're going to have to kind of keep in mind. In my opinion, like I stated, I would probably be okay with just having an AppleCare Plus, the base model, with an iPhone 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max. But the thing that makes the most sense to me is probably the AppleCare Plus with theft and loss. If I were to do it for an iPhone specifically, that's kind of how I would go about doing it. But even on MacBooks, on whatever other products are available, I think for the most part, for people who have, those type of devices, you would just have to kind of gauge your own usage. How do you use your devices? Do you throw them around everywhere? Or if they're just on a desk all day and you don't even use them and you just take it with you once a month somewhere, it might not even be worth it to have AppleCare, because you'll just, be using it on a desk. And if you do drop it one time, it's probably not going to break. But if there is an actual hardware failure, like the keyboard issues, or if your whatever goes bad, your screen goes bad, sometimes you can just call up Apple, whether you have AppleCare Plus or not, and they might actually fix those issues. I've seen it time and time again. It's happened so many times. I've seen it so many times before. And like I said before, Apple does a really, really good job at this. They purposely go out and make sure the experience is really good, so you can keep coming back and buying more products. And like I said, it's a humongous thing for Apple to do, and their customer support is really, really awesome. They've helped me out a ton throughout the years. And I'll definitely tell you, if you're kind of in this limbo and you don't know whether you want AppleCare Plus or not, I will tell you, it only helps you if you have it. If you're kind of, if you don't want to spend the money or whatever, then that's totally understandable. But something like AppleCare Plus it's only there to help you, you know what I mean? So that's really pretty much it. That's how I'd sum it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. I'd really appreciate if you guys would check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.